Scent. The high karate scent that can turn a usually docile woman into a ravenous creature.
Oh, look out, mate! Oh.
A scent so irresistible that every pack of high karate carries essential instructions on self-defense. High karate aftershave. Be careful how you use it.
In the 1970s, there was an aftershave so potent that you took your very life in your hands by wearing it. The mere hint of it would drive women wild with desire, and what man wanted that? Luckily, bottles came with self-defense instructions to ensure that you would keep your dignity and virtue intact. A curious marketing ploy, you might think, especially in the slap and tickle 70s. This is the Overlooked Hotel, and this is the story of high karate. Today, men's perfume is as fancy, extravagant and costly as the larger women's market, but several decades ago, back when men's perfume was stubbornly referred to as aftershave, or, if especially poncy, Cologne, things were very different. It would have rugged, manly names and ad campaigns to match, be it Old Spice's surfing action, or Brutes ads with boxer Henry Cooper, who no one was ever going to confuse with an effete pretty boy, and so gave reassurance that there was nothing girly about aftershave, right down to the instruction to splash it all over rather than dab it here and there. The difference was stark. Effeminate men wore flowery perfume, real men wore aftershave. Even the name spoke to its manliness. You literally used it as a post-shave balm, even if it actually stung on application to freshly shaved skin. Aftershave was generally a more basic, no-nonsense product that pitched itself less on the actual smell and more on its functionality. It was designed to freshen you up after a hard session of sporting manliness. Less overtly, though only slightly less overtly, it was sold on how likely it was to help you get laid.
You might like to know about a new aftershave called Denim. It's not for men who want to drive women crazy, but it does encourage a feeling of freshness. If you've been looking for an aftershave as cool as the clothes you wear, get into new Denim, the aftershave for men who don't have to try too hard.
I think of 1970s aftershave, and I think of shows like Whatever Happened to the Likely Lads, Bob and Terry getting ready for a night out dressed in their best suits, and doubtless drenched in tobacco or English leather or Old Spice, hair brow-creamed and out on the hunt for dolly birds. Aftershave wasn't just about sex. It was a mark of faux sophistication and the sign that a night out was a special event. But the underlying inference was always that the right aftershave was a knicker-dropper, an aphrodisiac that would turn the heads of otherwise uninterested bits of crumpet. That all the other blokes in the pub might have also splashed it all over was an inconvenience not gone into. How upfront this suggestion was depended very much on the scent and its perceived demographics. Brute didn't really go that way at all unless Henry Cooper had designs on the metrosexual footballer Kevin Keegan, his sometimes advertising co-star. Old Spice focused on the manly sporting activities but hinted at the romance that would follow. Denim was more blatant, featuring female hands sliding inside said man's shirt, both characters faceless to allow maximum audience identification. Then, as now, perfume ads tended to take themselves very seriously. When you're trying to pitch to a sophisticated market, there's little room for humour. But one aftershave and one campaign took a very different approach.
High karate aftershave. Just one whiff drives women wild. Makes men irresistible. High karate aftershave. Be careful how you use it.
High karate became famous for its ludicrous ads that showed women literally driven mad with desire by a mere whiff of the scent, becoming so voracious and man-eating that the hapless male wearer had to actually fight them off. High karate was launched in 1967 by Leeming, a division of Pfizer, and was formulated by Michael Pickthall, sold as a mid-level aftershave, not the cheapest but comfortably affordable as a Christmas gift, which I suspect is how most men ended up with bottles of aftershave back then. It had a few scent variations over the year, including Oriental Spice and Oriental Lime for those with more exotic tastes, and by pure luck found itself part of the fashionable zeitgeist in the 1970s when martial arts fever swept the world. Prior to this, high karate probably sounded Japanese and mysterious, but in a post-Bruce Lee world, it found itself linked to a burgeoning martial arts pop culture. Even without the advertising, high karate probably sounded more cool than its rivals to teenage boys. Of course, these days the scent will probably be criticised for Orientalism and cultural appropriation, but such concerns were a long way off in the 1970s. On paper, the high karate ads featuring sexually frustrated and excited women with no self-control sound outrageously sexist, and that's often how they've been critiqued over the years by rent-a-quote talking heads on TV shows and the sorts of newspaper columnists that are only familiar with laughter on a theoretical level. But even in the 1970s, when sexism was genuinely rife across the media, these ads were clearly satirical. While the denim ads seemed to take themselves fairly seriously, high karate ads were clearly deliberately absurd. In fact, they seem oddly subversive, as if poking fun at the whole po-faced and ludicrous aphrodisiac claims of rival brands. The catchphrase, "be careful how you use it," hardly seemed designed to be taken seriously, and if anyone did, then more fool them. The ads tend to feature nerdy, ordinary blokes rather than male models, the sort that you would never imagine women fighting over, and then make the whole scenario even more ludicrous as Mr. Average has to use his laughably clumsy martial arts skills to fend off the attentions of a beautiful woman coming onto him, leaving chaos and destruction in his wake. The ads are sharply satirical, and as they developed in the UK, they became very much a part of a British cultural movement that ranged from the Carry On films to the Confessions films, where hapless, gormless blokes were either chasing girls unsuccessfully or finding themselves at the mercy of sexually predatory housewives. Thanks to a combination of culture and censorship, British sex films are always more smirk than smut, with sniggering slapstick rather than actual eroticism. It made perfect sense then that the figurehead of the British high karate campaign would be Valerie Leon, a veteran of the Carry On series and Bond movie, star of Hammer's Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, and the film version of No Sex Please We're British. How appropriate. Leon was one of the most striking of the 1970s starlets, statuesque with big hair, big eyes, big everything in fact. She was almost cartoonishly sexy and had a domineering style about her that singled her out from the dolly birds of the time and made her a shoo-in for dominatrix roles in comedy sketches and movies. One of several women over the years to earn the Miss Whiplash nickname. Leon knew how to exaggerate her sexuality for comic effect and was so the perfect choice to appear in these ads. She made a great double act with co-star Brian Miller, who's admirably straight-faced as the unlikely object of lust. The question remains if the two characters were supposed to be the same from ad to ad, in which case he really needed to switch aftershave brands, or if each ad was a standalone narrative. Yeah, I know, I'm kind of overthinking this. The joke continued to the product itself, which came with a self-defense instructional leaflet, and some odd spin-off merch. Most notable of this was the 7-inch flexi disc released in the US in 1977 called Sounds of Self-Defense, which instructs the innocent high karate wearer in how to fend off attacks from crazed women.
This special seminar on self-defense and scary-sounding noises is brought to you by High Karate Aftershave in Cologne. For those times in your life when you are heavy-handed with your regular high karate, careless with your high karate Oriental Lime, or irresponsible with your high karate Oriental Spice, memorize them. They could be your last line of defense. Suppose you've just splashed on high karate. You're sitting down, reading a Boy Scout manual, or working on your butterfly collection, and your girl, or even your wife, attacks you from the rear. Here's what you do. First scream, "Call shower!" This is very important, so try it again. "Call shower!" Immediately after screaming, spring backward, turning a somersault in midair and trapping your attacker's head with your ankles. This will break the hold and should get her flustered. At this time, a counterattack is imminent, so be prepared. As your girl launches her new offensive and leaps at you, hold your ground until the last possible second and shout, "Pure thoughts!" Once again, "Pure thoughts!" Then quickly drop to the floor. As she passes you in the air, deliver a stern lecture on the importance of self-control. By this time, your attacker is subdued. Give her warm milk or a sedative, and try to be understanding. Remember, she's just experienced a severe emotional upheaval.
Like all things, high karate had a shelf life. The 1980s saw a backlash against what would become known as political incorrectness, and sexist aftershave commercials were soon to go the way of Benny Hill in a cultural purge, cancellation as we might call it today. The fact that high karate ads were mocking the whole macho concept to begin with was, and is, lost on many critics. And fashions change. What was cool once began to seem cheap and cheesy. The road from sophisticated luxury to downmarket tat is one that several brands have taken, and once you fall out of fashion, you need to radically rebrand or die. Other scents arose for a new generation, notably things like Lynx and Axe, which became the horny teenage boys' aftershave and deodorant of choice, thanks to ad campaigns that offered the same non-binding guarantee of sexual success that their predecessors had had. Still, you can't keep an old brand down. High karate has made 2 comebacks, once in 2014 and then again in 2021, when it was revived by Beauty Clear, who still sell it today. Yes, you can still buy yourself some high karate, and it has the same formulation that it had in the 1970s. For those of you planning to go to a film convention or other event where Riley Leon is making an appearance, why not test it out and see if it still has the same effects on her? If you enjoy these dives into ancient history, then don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the alert bell, all that sort of thing. Make sure that you never miss one of our videos. And let me know in the comments, did you wear high karate? Did it ever make you catnip for the ladies, or did it simply scare them off? I'm fascinated to know. I'm not sure that I've ever actually smelt it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.